So we cover one more day of 3.1 and 3.2. We go into word problems and how we can use what we learned in 3.1 and 3.2 to solve word problems. So solve each of the following by writing a system of equations, and remember to define your variables. So the define your variables part is these blanks here where it says x equals and y equals. So we look at the word problem. It says you plan to work 200 hours this summer mowing lawns and babysitting. You need to make a total of $1,300. Babysitting pays $6 per hour and lawn mowing pays $8 per hour. How many hours should you work? So if you look at the last sentence, how many hours should you work? That's where we're going to find out what our variables are. So the hours are made up of hours babysitting, and then hours mowing lawn. So I'm just going to put hours mowing. Okay, so those are the hours we're going to find out. How many do you babysit? How many do you mow lawn? Right, we should write one equation about hours because they tell us how many hours you work. And we should also write one equation about money because they tell us how much money we should make or we want to make. So when you write an equation, you always want to put the total at the end. So if we're doing the money equation, okay, the total money, draw an arrow there. So for the money, the total is $1,300. So how do we get paid that $1,300? Well, we get paid $6 per hour for babysitting. So $6 times X, because X is hours babysitting, so 6 times the hours babysitting. Plus, we get paid $8 per hour for mowing lawn, so 8Y. So if I read this equation, 6X means 6 times hours babysitting, plus 8Y, which is 8 times the hours mowing. And you want to make $1,300. If we write an equation about the hours, okay, the total hours is 200, so the total goes over here. And what makes up the total hours? Hours babysitting plus hours mowing. Okay, and then we have to solve this. So you can solve this one of two ways. You could do substitution or elimination. I'm actually going to do substitution, just to show one substitution problem. So if I take the second equation, and let's solve the second equation for x. So you subtract y to get x equals 200 minus y. All right, so we found out what x is. Now take your second equation, and you're going to substitute in there. So 6 times 200 minus y plus 8y equals 1,300. And now we solve for y. So 6 times 200 is 1,200. 6 times y is 6y. Then we solve, so we have 1,200 plus 2y equals 1,300. Okay. Then let's get rid of that 1,200 by subtracting. So 1,200 minus 1,200 cancels. So 2y equals 100. And now we divide by 2. So y equals 50. So what this means is 50 hours mowing. So if y equals 50, how do you find out what x is? Well, x equals 200 minus y. So 200 minus 50. So x equals 150. So x is 150 and y is 50. All right, so we scroll down. We have a second equation. All right, so a Citrus Fruit Company plans to make 13.25-pound gift boxes of oranges and grapefruits. Each box is to have a retail value of $21. Each orange weighs a half pound and has a retail value of 75 cents, while a grapefruit weighs 0.75 pounds and has a retail value of $1.25. How many oranges and grapefruits should be included in the box? So we're looking for how many oranges and grapefruits. So X can be number of oranges. Y can be number of grapefruits. Now, if we look at the total things they tell us that we want $21 and the gift basket is 13.25 pounds. So we should write an equation about weight and total cost. So if we start with the weight equation, the total weight we want is 13.25. So what makes up that weight is a half a pound for an orange and 0.75 pounds for grapefruit. So it'll be 0.5 X, because 0.5 times oranges, plus 0.75 Y, because 0.75 pounds times the grapefruit. The next equation is for the total cost. So the total cost is $21. How much does an orange cost? 75 cents. So 0.75 X plus how much does a grapefruit cost? 1.25. So 1.25 Y. So we have a money equation and we have a weight equation. Okay, now this gets kind of tricky because of the decimals, but we're going to use elimination to cancel these out. And what we're going to try to do is let's try to cancel out the X's. That might be the easiest. So what we're going to do is try to make the X's into opposites. So what can 0.75 and 0.5 both change into? So 0.75 can change into 1.5, and then 2.25, and then 3. So we're going to multiply this by 4, because that'll change the 0.75 into 3. And the 50 cents, or the 0.5, we're going to multiply by -6. So when you multiply these, -6 times 0.5 is -3x. -6 times 0.75 is plus -4.5. And that's a Y. And then -6 times 13.25 is -79.5. The second equation, 4 times 0.75 is 3x. 4 times 1.25 is 5y. And 4 times 21 is 84. 3x plus 5y equals 84. So the whole reason we did this is because now we can cancel the x's. So -3 plus 3 cancels out. That's 0. -4.5 plus 5 is 0.5y. And -79.5 plus 84 is 4.5. So we get 0.5y equals 4.5. How do you get rid of a times 0.5? We divide by 0.5 to cancel that out. So y equals 4.5 divided by 0.5, which is 9. So that means we have 9 grapefruits, because y is 9. Now, take one of the equations. So I'm going to take the 0.5x equation, and we're going to substitute in 9 for the y value. So we get 0.5x plus 0.75 times 9 equals 13.25. So 0.5x plus 6.75 equals 13.25. I mean minus 6.75. I'm going to get 0.5x equals 6.5. Then we divide by 0.5. So x equals 13. So 13 oranges and 9 grapefruits would make it a $21 basket, and it would make it 13.25 pounds. Right, and then we got one more. So Mary and Crystal are selling pies for school fundraiser. Customers can buy blueberry or apple pies. Mary sold 1 blueberry pie and 14 apple pies for a cost of $2.93. Crystal sold 8 blueberry pies and 13 apple pies for a total of $3.64. What is the cost of each of 1 blueberry pie or 1 apple pie? So we want to know what is the cost of blueberry and cost of apple. So what does a blueberry pie cost? What does an apple pie cost? Okay, they give us a couple totals. They tell us $2.93. They tell us $3.64. So we should write one equation about Mary. So Mary's pie. So Mary's pies sold. And one equation about Crystal's pies sold. Because that's what they tell us the totals are. So the first equation for Mary would be 1 blueberry pie, so 1x plus 14 apple pies, so 14y equals 293. For Crystal, it is 8x plus 13y is equal to 364. And then we're going to solve this for the x and the y. So I would personally use elimination. So what will cancel out with a positive 8x? Negative 8x. So multiply everything in here by negative 8. We would get negative 8x minus 112y. We do that math again. 80 and 32 is 112. Equals 293 times negative 8 is negative 2344. Okay, and the second equation is going to stay the same. So 8x plus 13y equals 364. So now you add them up. So negative 8 plus 8 cancels. Negative 112 plus 13 is negative 99y. And then negative 2,344 plus 364 is negative 1980. And then we have to divide by negative 99. So we will get y equals 1980 divided by 99. So y equals 20. Y equals 20. Once you find y, you go back and find x by plugging in one of the equations. I'm going to take the top equation. So I'm going to take x plus 14 times 20 equals 293. So x plus 14 times 20 is 280. How do you get rid of a plus 280? We subtract it. We end up with x equals 13. So it looks like it is $13 for a blueberry pie and $20 for the cost of an apple pie.